So I was supposed to speak about hope. Do you mind if I ask you to imagine yourself hiding in a small apartment with no electricity at all, and you don't have water, and you don't have food, and you're hiding from people who want to kill you? What you will do in that place? I know the answer because I used to be in that situation exactly. But to tell you about that, I think maybe I should introduce myself a little bit for you. My name is Mohammed, and I'm from Yemen. And I don't know if any one of you been in Yemen, but I think it's the heaven of the world. I miss Yemen so much. What's amazing about Yemenis is that if you go to a restaurant, for example, and you order food, you will see the waiter in some way like Italians, he will start shouting like he wants fish, and everyone in the restaurant knows that he wants fish. Kids love to play football, soccer, and when they play it in the street, they don't wear shoes like the Brazilian. They don't have sometimes even balls to play with, so they play with empty water bottles. And life is simple, and you will see people enjoy life without spending money. But my dad says something which I love it always when he says that. He says, in every house, you will find a bathroom. And I think in every country, you'll find some amazing positivities and also some negativities. I live right now in the United States, and I can tell you like there's amazing positivities in the United States, but there's also a lot of negativities also. And in Yemen, people loves God so much. And I think you can find in this world two religious groups. You will find people who love God. So when they walk in the street and they find a tree, they don't want even to cut the leaf of the tree because they don't want to hurt the tree. Then you will find a religious person who would like everyone to be like them. And if you don't agree with them, they will come and chase you. I'm lucky because I was born in a very amazing family. I hope one day you will meet my parents. My both parents are medical doctors. I have four siblings, all of them are medical doctors. I'm the only one who's not a doctor in the family. And the reason behind that, because I have a disability. I try to hide my disability sometimes, but I have a disability in the right side of my body. I have a disability in my right hand and my right leg. And I was in school, a lot of kids was making fun of me because the way how I walk or the way my hand looks like. So I wanted to go to my mom and crying, and I say, Mama, why God gave me such a disability? Why he doesn't give it to other kids who is making fun of me? And my mom told me something really beautiful. My mom, I think she's an amazing hero in this world. She told me, God never takes anything from anyone unless if it gives it something in return. So you need to find what God would give you in return. When I was a kid, I was hoping he would give me $1 million. But also, like when you think about it, God is so merciful. In some way, he doesn't give everything to everyone. You have to have something missing in your life because that's actually hope in some ways. Because I love God so much, and I wanted to know if He will give me $1 million or not. I became religious because I want to know more about God. And Islam is a very beautiful faith, and I hope each one of you go and read a little bit about Islam. But again, as we said, there's some extreme groups or some extreme religious people who's using religion for their own perspective. And I was in school and I asked, what's the best thing that you can do as Muslim? And I've been told is converting others to Islam. And I thought that's very beautiful because I love to give gifts. I don't like to receive gifts. And I think it's the best gift to give to anyone is converting them to go to heaven. So I believed in that. When I was 23 years old, I had my chance to convert someone. In Yemen, I met Luke, and he is from England. He was teaching English in Yemen. And me and him, we became very close friends. And I wanted really hard to convert him to Islam because he told me he's leaving Yemen, and I want him to remember me when he go back to his country. And what a better gift than to convert someone to go to heaven. So I went to him and I gave him a copy of the Quran, the holy book of Muslims. And I told him, if you care about our friendship, I want you to read it. And he told me, for sure, but in one condition. And so what is it? He gave me the Bible. And he told me, in the same time I'm reading your book, you need also to read my book. I took the Bible not because I want to know more about Christianity, but because I want to challenging him. I want to tell him, like, I'll start reading the book, the Bible, and I want to see anything that I can say, aha, my book is much better than your book. And that's why you need to convert to Islam. But the more that I was reading about it, the more I was fascinating about the similarities from the Bible and the Quran. Now, he didn't tell me, and nobody taught me in Yemen, that when you read the Bible from the beginning, you're actually reading the Jewish Torah. And I also was thinking only I'm reading the Christian Bible. So from the beginning, I was reading, and then I called him and I started trying to ask him hard questions. And he told me, Mo, can you go read the book from the middle? And I said to him, what kind of people reading the book from the middle? He told me, because now you're reading the Jewish Torah. And when he told me that, a memory came to me. And it's so funny because it's so similar to what's happening right now in a lot of ways. When I was 13 years old, there was the second Intifada. And I saw on the TV a Palestinian kid named Mohammed Al who was killed by Israeli soldiers. And I saw that in the TV, and in school they were talking about it a lot. And I went home and I was in the basement of my parents listening to Britney Spears and Linkin Park. And while I'm listening to music, I had a dream. And it's so similar to October 7th, what happened 2 years ago. My dream that I was want to go to Israel and kill all the Jews. Because they killed, from my perspective as 13 years old, they killed that 13 years old kid. So now, moving forward 10 years after that, I have the book of Jews also reading while I was trying to read just the Christian Bible. And there is something really beautiful about the Baha'i faith I love so much, which is investigation. And I think that's the first time in my life I felt like, I really want to investigate more why there is such kind of hate. So I started reading more about the Jewish Torah because I want really to understand. And again, the more that I'm reading, the more I just see how much we are similar to each other. But I couldn't understand, and then there is why there is such conflict, why there is such wars. At that time, I discovered something new in Yemen called Facebook. And I didn't know even how to use Facebook so much, but I was trying to search for Jews. The question is, how can you find a Jew on Facebook? I was doing my search and I started adding people as friends, and you can imagine nobody added me as friend. And then I realized that's not the way how you use Facebook, so I started doing a message which is copy-paste. It was like this. Hi, my name is Mohammed. I know that you're from Israel. I know that you're a Jew. What do you think of Muslims? What do you think of Yemenis? You're sincerely Mohammed. So imagine how many people responded to me. But I was lucky, because the first person who responded to me is named Nimrud. Now he lives in the United States. And he showed me something that I don't see in the media. I don't see the news. It doesn't came on the surface at all. Nimrud told me that most of his friends actually are Palestinians. And that actually he loves Arabs and Muslims. And I said, I never heard someone Jew, from my perspective, saying something like this. So he started introducing me to his friends on Facebook. And I loved it so much. And for the first time in my life, I was in this kind of group on Facebook. It's a secret group, kind of, nobody can see it. And in this secret group, you can actually speak about something called interfaith. And for the first time in my life, I started realizing why God gave me disability. You see, because of my disability, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I started watching American movies and American series because my dad was trying to give me something that I can learn from. And I watched something really beautiful called Friends. It's a comedy show. And I loved it so much. Not because it only was funny, but also because in Yemen we are a family-oriented culture. You live with your family even if you are 30, 40 years old, and you'll see all in one house together, which is a beautiful thing. But in Friends, you can live with strangers. people who are not related to you, and women and men can live together. That was fascinating for me alone. But and I love all the way how I can see it. And I also even think I thought about America as friends. I thought America is all like friends, like that's what's happening. So I like it so much. But then because of that, I learned English, and now I am in Facebook group talking to people from different religions. And I said, why I don't show them what I discovered while reading the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran? So start posting there the similarities about each religion and also about our differences and how we can celebrate it. And I became the star of the group. Every Friday, everyone is waiting for me while I'm posting about something similar about each other or something different between each other. Until another war also happened. And because of the war, everyone in the group started to be collapsed. They don't want to talk to each other. And I realized that I actually never met a Jew in my life. I just know them on Facebook, and that's it. So I decided that I want to find a place where I can find Jews, and I meet them. And I went to Google and I searched about conference where I can meet Jews as a conference like this. So I searched about like I'm Muslim, I want to meet a Jew, so I wrote Muslim Jewish conference. And for a fact, there is something called Muslim Jewish conference in Bosnia, Sarajevo. And I applied for it, and I think I'm the only one from the Arab world at that time who applied for such conference, and they accept me immediately within 5 minutes. But they told me like, welcome, you can come, but like you need to let you know that you need to pay for your own tickets, for your own visa to come to Bosnia. As a Yemeni, we don't have a Bosnian embassy, so you need to travel to a third country to apply for a visa and then travel to Bosnia. And it's a lot of money. And I was thinking to myself, is it worth it? Is it worth it to do all of this just to see a Jew in my life? But I decided to do it. And I traveled to Bosnia and I met my first Jew in my life. He wasn't only a Jew. He was a Jew, Israeli, and gay. It's like three in one for me. But in this conference also I discovered that I was living in a small bubble also back in Yemen because I found Muslims who's not the typical Muslims that I've been taught about. I met women Muslims who never wear hijab or Muslims who never speak Arabic. And I remember that what they've been taught me in school, so not everything that I've been taught is absolutely truth, even about my own faith itself. And that changed my life a lot. In the conference, I met people like you guys, people who I sit with them in lunch or dinner, and then we start talking for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. One of them, his name Daniel, he was dancing break dance, and I think it was the first time in my life seeing someone dancing break dance, and he had his move. His move was like doing like electricity shock. That was weird. And and when I went back to Yemen, I loved what happened to the conference. And honestly, it's exactly the same feeling that I'm having right now. When I start the conference, they told me you might have like a little bit depression after the conference because you will actually miss what's happening, and I agree totally with that. And that's what happened to me. So I went back and I said like I go again on Facebook and just posting things on Facebook. I don't want to do that. So I tried to do the same thing that I discovered in the conference within my own community, within my own family, and that's dangerous. In Yemen, we have a group called Houthis. I don't know if you're hearing about them. And interfaith is not something they like. So I tried to do kind of like communication on, at that time I didn't know something called Zoom, I know Skype. So I did Skype on people from different religions, and I asked my friends if they want to join me. And because of that, I was accused for being agent for Mossad, which is the Israeli intelligence. And I'm the worst in politics. I hate politics so much, and now they give me this accusation. I remember that my dad came to me shouting and he was very angry, not because he believed that I'm an agent, but because he's so worried about me. He knows what will happen to me next. I started receiving threats, and the threats became real, and I didn't know what to do, so I decided that I will escape from my home to a small apartment, trying to escape from them, and hopefully nobody will be able to find me. It's a long story, and I have limited time, so I'm trying to give you like a little bit about it. But in one time, I was hiding in this apartment, no electricity, no food, no water. And I had my phone, and my phone has 2G internet, very slow, and I see things on Facebook, and I start losing every positive feelings that I have. In a way that I was thinking that maybe I should kill myself because it will be faster, because if they find me, they will actually record me in the video. And all I'm thinking about is that my mother will see the video, and I don't want her heart to be breaking. So I thought that maybe if I kill myself, it will be easier for everyone. People didn't realize that in Islam, actually, you have a rule that you couldn't kill yourself. So I started praying to God. And I said, God, please help me out. And also, for some reason, I thought this will not be my end. I have hope. I know that there is something happened to me. And I know for sure that, when God gave me disability, He gave me something much better from that. And I hope He will also help me out from this situation. So when I prayed, I had this crazy idea, which is why I don't post on Facebook asking people if they can help me out to escape. So I post on Facebook, can anyone help me out? And to be honest with you, I'm still challenging until today about if what I was if that in the other side. What if I saw someone on Facebook saying like I need help? What I will do? Will be probably I'm ignoring it and just leave away, or will be I'm helping in a way that I can? Do you remember the guy that I told you he was dancing electricity, like a hip hop thing? Uh, he actually responded and he said, like, I want to help you out. And I said, really? You? From everyone? And then there is an amazing woman named Megan. I know Megan for my interfaith work. She was the admin of the group that I was posting about it every week. And she was trying to help me out. And then Natasha and Justin. And the funny thing, actually, Justin didn't even see my post. What happened is Megan, she was freaking about my help, and she sent an email to all her contacts asking them, do you know anyone in Yemen who can help a friend of mine to escape? And Justin, she didn't know that actually Justin knows me, and Justin only know one Yemeni guy. So he responded by saying, hi, Megan, yes, I actually met this amazing activist. I think he can help your friend. And he gave her my contact information, and she told him, Justin, I'm talking about Mohammed. It's the same person. Um, so the four of them, they don't know each other really. So they are in a group on Facebook with me, and they said, like, we want to help you. So the first thing they asked me, where do you live? And I said, I live in this street. I'm hiding in this apartment. And they told me, like, yeah, but what's the building number? And I said, like, what do you mean? They said, like, do you have a building number? And I said, oh my God, they don't know anything about Yemen because we don't have buildings number in Yemen. We only have buildings. I mean, if you want to come to my house, I will tell you, like, I am the second house next to the supermarket, Blue Door. That's how you know where I live. And they asked me, like, where do you live? And I said, like I don't know what to tell you. And they said, like, have you ever used something called Google Map? And I said, no. And they said, like, okay, here what you need to do. So imagine that while I'm hiding, having a little bit battery, downloading Google Maps so they can know where I live. And the first thing they did, they post on Facebook asking people to help me out. And I'm seeing the response of their friends and what their friends says. And trust me, it's not the best things to see the comments of other people when they make fun. What do you mean by that? Ha ha ha, and things like this. And they're talking really seriously. And I thought that they will not help me out. But they did something that I've never seen it before. They opened a window of hope for me. They never gave up. For 13 days, they tried to do, they are not Superman, they're not Batman, they don't know have all this power, but they believed that they can help me out. And what they did, they started just every day posting, trying to communicate to everyone that they know, until they reached all the way to Tony Blinken. At that time, Tony Blinken was something in the American government, and They reached out to senators, and eventually they were able to do a military operation for me. And I was able to be evacuated. And that's a very beautiful thing. And I was able to be evacuated from Yemen to Djibouti to Africa. And then when I was in Africa, in Djibouti, they told me, Mohammed, do you want to come to the United States? I said, are you kidding me? Of course, I want to come to the United States. The question is how? I don't have a passport. I don't have documentations. I don't have money. And they said, we will help you out. I actually do have the passport, but they told me I didn't know how they will be able to manage it. And they start posting again on Facebook. The funny thing that because when they tried to help me out, they were posting everything they do on Facebook. So their friends of friends, and a lot of people that they know, they're already following my story on Facebook. So I became a popular person like who trying to help. And as soon as they said, who want to invite Mohammed to come to the United States, I received a lot of invitations to come to the United States. And my invitation is supposed to be coming speaking about my life. And I never spoke about my life in Arabic. How about speaking about my life in English? And I didn't realize that that would be my purpose. So the first day I arrived in San Francisco. The second day I'm speaking at Stanford University among 300 students. And I am in the stage, and Justin, one of the people who helped me out, in the stage with me. And they say, everyone looking to me, and I realize they want me to speak about my trauma. And I don't know how to speak about my trauma. I don't know even how to speak about what happened to me. I haven't even realized that I might not be able to come back again to Yemen. And Justin starts speaking about my story and what happened to me, and I am with him in the stage. And that was very hard. But I start speaking. And I think my story has been inspired a lot. Because I became speaking about it, I was able to have a book deal and a movie deal. And it became popular of speaking all these things. But that's not what identify me as a human being. And I didn't want my trauma to be the source of what my life is. So I asked myself, what do I love? I love interfaith. And what do I want to do? I want to make change as I used to do, trying to do it in Yemen. So I remember friends and how people was living together in different places from different perspectives and live together. So I created something like Friends as a non-profit. I created Abrahamic House. And the idea about Abrahamic House is that we have a house and we let a Muslim, a Jew, a Christian, and a Baha'i live together for 1 year to 2 years without paying rent. We pay the rent for them, but for them, in order to stay in the house, they can go to their work, they can go to their universities, but in the end, every month they need to do 3 to 4 events that gather people together. And And I will tell you, to be honest with you, 2 years ago, when October 7th happened and the war in Gaza happened, I felt so bad because it's the history repeating itself a lot. And I think our generation has been suffering a lot from wars and trauma. And my healing was at Abrahamic House. Because the way how you see people are connecting with each other, even when wars is happening, and how you have people who want actually to bring us like together and live in this world in peace. What we really, as a human being, a lot of us just want is be who we are. We want to be in a room when we enter, nobody judging us. Nobody say that you shouldn't be exist, you shouldn't be in the room. You want to feel that you have the right to sit down and be part of the table. And that's what the community and the fellows of Abrahamic House created. And it's a very beautiful thing. And I will ask you to do the same thing. As I found my hope and I found the way how I can actually emerge in my life, try to find your own way of doing it. And if you feel like you don't have hope and you feel like, I have a lot of stress, I have a lot of things like that, I want to tell you, like, imagine if you are in Greece, in Athena, and it's very, very hot, and you're wearing a very heavy jacket, and you're walking, because that happened to me, honestly. And then I was walking, and like, oh my God, it's so hot. Imagine someone come to you and say, like, take your jacket and give it to me. How you would feel? Relief. And that's when you actually believe in God. If you want real hope, think about God as someone who can take everything from you. Trust God. And no matter come from God, it's good. No matter if it is bad or good. Because remember, I have a disability, and because of my disability, I'm here with you today. So sometimes you have a hard situation in your life and you don't know why it happened. But it happened for a purpose. So I hope you have your own connection to God, the way how you see it. And I hope that I will not have depression after this conference. Thank you so much.